Have you ever thought about buying a Toyota hybrid and then stopped yourself because of one nagging question? What happens when that battery dies? You've probably heard the stories. Someone's Prius needed a new battery, and the bill was €5,000. A friend of a friend sold their hybrid because they were scared of what was coming. It's one of the most common fears in the used car market today, and honestly, it's understandable. But here's the thing. Most of what people believe about hybrid batteries is either outdated, exaggerated, or just flat out wrong. So let's break this down properly, because the truth is a lot more reassuring than the rumors. To understand why Toyota hybrid batteries last so long, you first need to understand what they're actually doing inside the car. A Toyota hybrid isn't like an electric vehicle where the battery carries the full weight of every journey. Instead, the system combines a gasoline engine with an electric motor, and the battery sits in the middle, assisting, recovering energy, and smoothing out power delivery. It never gets fully charged, and it never runs completely empty. Toyota deliberately keeps the battery operating within a controlled middle window, roughly between 20 and 80% of its total capacity. That single design choice is the main reason these batteries survive for so long. The battery pack itself is made up of individual cells grouped into modules, and a sophisticated battery management system keeps a constant eye on temperature, voltage, and balance across every single module. In most Toyota hybrids, you'll find on the road today, those cells use nickel metal hydride chemistry, a technology that Toyota chose specifically because of its thermal stability and proven track record over decades. It's not glamorous, but it works, and it keeps working. Now, when a hybrid battery does start to weaken, it almost never happens suddenly. The process is gradual. The first thing most drivers notice is that fuel economy starts slipping. The engine begins running more often because the electric assistance isn't contributing as much as it used to. You might see the battery gauge fluctuate more than normal, or eventually a warning light appears on the dashboard. These are all early signals, and the key point is that they give you time. Time to diagnose, time to plan, and time to make a calm decision rather than an expensive emergency one. So what actually causes a hybrid battery to degrade? Age plays a role, of course, but it's not the whole story. Heat is one of the biggest enemies. The battery cooling fan, which most people never think about, is responsible for keeping module temperatures in check. When that fan gets clogged with dust and debris, which happens over time, thermal stress builds up and accelerates cell degradation. Imbalanced modules are another culprit. When individual cells within the pack age unevenly, the weaker ones drag down the whole system. And in very high mileage cases, the sheer number of charge and discharge cycles eventually takes its toll. But even then, we're usually talking about 200,000 kilometers or more before serious degradation sets in. When a battery does need attention, the solution is rarely as dramatic as people expect. In many cases, only a handful of modules have degraded significantly, and replacing just those weak modules restores most of the battery's original performance. Refurbished battery packs are widely available, and a good quality replacement typically costs somewhere between €800 and €1,500 installed. A brand new OEM pack from Toyota will cost more, around €2,000 to €3,000. But even that number needs to be put in perspective. A diesel injector set, a turbocharger replacement, or a transmission rebuild on a conventional car can easily cost just as much or more. The hybrid battery is not uniquely expensive. It just gets more attention because people are unfamiliar with it. If you're looking at buying a used Toyota hybrid, the battery question doesn't have to be a deal breaker. Ask whether a diagnostic has been done. Listen for the cooling fan running when the car is warm, a sign it's working properly. Check that the service history is consistent. Many hybrids with 200,000 kilometers or more on the clock are still running on their original battery, especially if they've been used mostly in city conditions, where regenerative braking constantly keeps the pack active and healthy. Taxi fleets across Europe have proven this for years. The Prius, in particular, has become the default choice for professional drivers who need absolute reliability at high mileage. That's not a coincidence. The reality of Toyota hybrid ownership is genuinely different from the fear that surrounds it. Yes, batteries degrade eventually. Yes, there will come a point where some maintenance is needed. But the system is engineered from the ground up to delay that moment as long as possible, and when it does arrive, the cost is manageable and the solutions are straightforward. The fear of the hybrid battery has been built on worst-case stories and early generation experiences that no longer reflect how these cars actually perform. Understanding how the system works doesn't just save you money, it gives you the confidence to make better decisions. And that's worth more than any battery.